Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, and I'm back with my plans and pans. Well, it is the holiday season, and I had the opportunity to go to the White House ball last Monday. It was an event for members of Congress and spouses, and it was absolutely fantastic. The president took pictures with most of the couples that came. A number of Republicans were there, so it was really a bipartisan party and terrific food. A lot of fun was had by all. And of course, this is also the Hanukkah season. It is Hanukkah time, and I want to wish all those in the Jewish community a very happy Hanukkah. On a more somber note, I met with a number of hostage families, people who have loved ones, sometimes children. They don't know if they are alive or dead, but they have sometimes been identified on the hostage list. And it is certainly a priority that the 130 hostages that still remain in Gaza will be made free soon. This is the most stressful time for these families. And so I am very anxious to see an end to the violence. We're very concerned that Israel has picked up again. I have been calling for an end to the violence and that there be justice for people in Gaza and also an end to the violence for people in Israel. And I'm going to be continuing to work to make sure that we can come to a solution that will be lasting. We need the international community to help us do that, and I am hopeful that we can move toward that as soon as possible. None of us want to see the death of innocent civilians, innocent children and women being killed. This is the holiday season, and it's a time when lots of people are going to see concerts, plays, being out for recreation. And I'm proud to say that my legislation, the Ticket Act, passed. Because one of the biggest frustrations that consumers have and have had for a while is that you order a ticket to go to one of these events and you are given a price as you apply for a ticket. And then you find all these hidden costs that are added on that could be up to 40, 50, 60% in addition to what you thought it was going to cost. The Ticket Act would end that and a number of other frustrations. It would say that up front, anyone selling a ticket, one, has to certainly have that ticket in hand, and two, that the price you see is the price you pay and no more. That will be the first and the last price that is offered. I spoke to some members of the Arts Alliance Illinois, and they are very concerned that when consumers have a problem with tickets, often they go to the one that is actually doing the event, but it's not their fault. They have nothing to do with the ordering of tickets. But we also heard a sad story about a grandma who wanted to go and see her granddaughter who was going to actually be in the play of the Nutcracker. And the price that she was told was $150 a person. So the grandparents, unfortunately, weren't able to go. And then later found out that the real price that should have been offered was $25 a ticket. So they were very sad to have missed this very special event for their family, but this is not unusual. And we have to stop that. And that's why the Ticket Act is a really good beginning. The organization was very happy that we're doing that because it not only protects consumers, but protects them as the producers of these wonderful events. I went to a wonderful event with home care workers, with the people who work at our nursing homes and child care. These are real heroes that we have in our workforce people who really care about doing their job. Even during the pandemic, there were people who showed up at work, like in a nursing home, and sometimes they didn't have a proper gown to protect themselves from the pandemic and ended up being told to wear a garbage bag to protect themselves. They have been there through thick and thin for our loved ones, and yet they are underpaid and overworked. What I wanted to talk to them about was first to say thank you for the essential work that you do for so many of our families, but also to say we think that you deserve to get a decent salary, and people in nursing homes, for example, should not have dozens of patients every night to take care of. It's no wonder that there's a lot of turnover in those jobs, that a lot of those workers end up burned out because they just can't do the job to take care of all of the needs of patients. And that is a big issue that we have to resolve. American people want to know that they're going to get the care they deserve. So on behalf of the workers and on behalf of the residents and the clients that these workers serve, we need to make sure that they get higher wages and safe standards. Even as I speak to you right now, there are people who are struggling to be able to afford their medication. Now, because of the Inflation Reduction Act, we have made some progress, and we know that people on Medicare are able now to get their insulin. There's a cap on how much of the out-of-pocket costs have to be incurred by seniors. But still, we are burdened by such a high cost of prescription drugs. And so I am proud this week to reintroduce the Affordable Drug Manufacturing Act, along with my good friend, Senator Elizabeth Warren. This legislation would create the Office of Drug Manufacturing. And among other things, what it would do would be to make sure that there are more generic drugs. It would lower prices for a number of drugs, and it would increase competition among drug companies, and it would address drug shortages. The 5 largest drug companies were able to rake in $80 billion in profits just last year. They are making lots and lots of money, really at the cost of people, ordinary people, being able to afford the prescription drugs. So despite the progress that we have made and are continuing to make, we need to go further, because in this richest country in the world, at the richest time in history, one thing that people ought to be able to afford, and those prices have to be affordable, that's their life-saving, life-promoting prescription drugs. So I'm going to continue to fight for you on behalf of lowering drug prices. I'm going back to Washington, and after that, there will actually be 3 weeks of holiday break. Oh, I'll be working in the district and meeting with a lot of constituents, but I am also going to be celebrating with family and friends and looking very much forward to basically being home and enjoying the holiday season. I hope the same is for you, but I will be back with you next week. Thanks. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.